from the skies.
Man,
Scarlet called the immense construct the Breachmaker. And before long, as it hovered above the city, it deployed an immense drill that burrowed into the ground where the green probe was lying. The city were destroyed in the beginning assault, save for one.
3-hour video at 0.5 times the speed? Isn't that slower? I don't got 6 hours. Alright, well, there it is. An overwhelming majority. 93% for Wooden Potatoes. Guild Wars 2, Living World Season 1, full story. Where should I skip? Because I imagine this covers episodes 1 and 3 already. 1, 2, and 3 already. Just skip Flame and Frost when you reach it. Alright, fine. I'll start from the beginning. Starting from the beginning.
In the days following the defeat of Zaitan, a new force for chaos and destruction lay siege to Tyria. Her name was Scarlet Briar.
Hey.
This was her war.
My queen.
Knark had been in charge of an expedition to an unknown and
Hold on, what the hell is that castle in the distance? Is that spoilers, or is that something that I can know about? I don't know if I've ever noticed this floating castle before. Kessex Hills? Castle in the sky? Studio Ghibli? What? That's in game. That's from Guild Wars. That's from Guild Wars 1. Oh, can I go there in Guild Wars 2? I've seen it. In Kessex Hills. You missed it and chat wanted you to see it. Oh, bro, I gotta go see it after this. Watch Bazaar? Alright. I'll watch the Bazaar.
A short time later, the elusive Bazaar of the Four Winds arrived in Tyria for the first time in a long while. An airborne town that endlessly drifted through the skies as packed airships might, but hewn from wood and set afloat by crystalline magics few in Tyria understood. The people who built these vast
airborne town?
This sailing skyward town, and who ran the bazaar,
dude, it's Skyward Sword
as the Zephyrites, a secluded Zen-like organization composed primarily of humans of
or Bioshock,
or
yeah, true.
Descent. The Zephyrites
Columbia
rarely docked on land, and mostly did so to gather supplies, choosing to live in the air for years at a time. This caused many of the Zephyrites to be disconnected with the world around them, showing ignorance
yeah, they're up
the
in the
Sylvari
sky.
race, the truce between the humans and the Char, and many other recent but significant historical events. Over a year after
Tower
the
of
fall
Nightmares.
of the Elder Dragon Zaitan, as Mad King Thorn's Day arrived once again to Lion's Arch, local seraph to Kessex Hills.
Oh, this is the thing that fell in Kessex Hills. The thing.
Soon after unveiling the tower, Mead and Delacroix were ambushed. Yes, by Crate of the area, who likely knew of the tower's construction and seemed to be involved, but also Nightmare Court, who seemed in league with them for this project. This final unlikely pairing was
the biggest crime Ain't ever committed.
The Toxic Alliance.
I'm guessing this was like a dungeon.
As the orders of Tyria and the commander arrived, the peoples of Tyria realized
the Toxic
that this
Alliance
tower and the plant within.
Oh, so this is where the League of Legends players come from the Tower of Nightmare. Okay, all right, that makes sense now.
This toxin was a threat. A Dermot Priory scholar,
well, you just report them, and they get banned.
To work at deducing a reason for the unlikely alliance of Crate and Nightmare Courtiers. That the Nightmare Sylvari aiding the Crate.
I want to say this now before I forget, because I have a very bad memory. This guy's reading out style, I don't know if that's right. His style, yeah, let's just go with that. His style really reminds me of Noble from how he does his World of Warcraft lore videos. Yeah, I'm getting Noble vibes
likely
from Wooden
only
Potatoes.
An offshoot of the actual courtiers following the ways of Cadian and Foulane, surmising these nightmare courts were a fringe
I
group,
love
banished
Novel.
likely
Yeah.
from even the nightmare court itself for their radical ideas.
British people do have the perfect voice for narration.
While
True.
traversing the tower, illusions and hallucinations continued to blur the minds
Something
of its
about that
victims,
accent.
leading them astray. Casimir Mead took
Feels
the
like
lead,
someone's massaging
knowing
my
the effects
brain
of
right now.
illusions better than many of her companions. That said, it was a nervy affair, with Casimir uncontrollably hiccuping along the way, revealed to be a nervous tick for her whenever she's afraid. It was realized
Oh,
that the
wait,
tower was
really?
being defended
Hold on.
not only
Hold on. She hiccups when she's afraid?
than many of her companions. That said, it was a nervy affair, with Casimir uncontrollably hiccuping along the way, revealed to be a nervous tick for her whenever she's afraid.
Oh, that's cute.
It was realized that the tower was being defended not only by the newly created Toxic Alliance, but also by Aetherblade pirates,
this dungeon's
by Molten Alliance,
crazy.
and by Clockwork minions, connecting so many recent and unconclusive events to this one place. Scarlet had been responsible for them all. Scarlet had orchestrated the Molten Alliance as the city dweller. She had brought together the Aetherblade pirates, and now
She's
the Toxic
responsible for the
Alliance
Molten Alliance, for the Aether Blades, and this toxic League of Legends alliance. Damn.
with the manufacturing of this toxin. She had to be stopped. Upon reaching the top of the tower, the trio of heroes, Marjorie, Casimir, and the Pact Commander, entered the heart of the enormous
She's still hot.
plant
Yeah,
kept
true.
safe. The clearly deranged and crazed Sylvari
And
they had
hot.
gotten
Don't
a
forget
taste
hot
for
Wooden
in the
Potatoes.
Twilight Arbor. Marjorie at last injected her antitoxin, forcing the whole tower to collapse over the Kessex Hills. It was a catastrophic event, sending shards of
For
wood
science,
and
yeah.
deforested timber all about the area, scarring its appearance for years to come.
You can do some of the
In
tower and
aftermath
fractals.
Of the destruction
Oh,
of
sweet.
the tower, at a nearby campsite operated by various members of the Orders of Tyria, Marjorie and Casimir met with Rox and Bram, who had been part of an assault force into the tower for the first time, and the heroes began to bond.
They're
The
all
effects
getting
of the
together.
tower, once standing in Kessex Hills, continue to
I
linger.
feel like this is the starting point of where ANET decided to do away with Destiny's Edge. Yeah, maybe because like Marjorie, Casimir, Rox, and Bram are kind of taking the spotlight.
Years ago, before anyone knew her name, none other than Scarlet Briar was there at the reactor site. She advised the inquest and tampered with their operations. With them, Scarlet had made a breakthrough in
Dude, she's got her fingers in so many pies. She's, now she's got, the inquest under her thumb.
understanding of magic, identifying a crucial network of magical channels known as ley lines that crisscrossed the globe deep underground, beneath the surface of Tyria.
Basically, yeah, she's Lex Luthor in a dress.
This humanoid entity was labeled an anomaly. It was hostile, a seemingly sentient thing born of and around the intense energies of the reactor explosion. And then, once the meltdown was over, it was gone again.
Does this have anything to do with the Naked Man? Are we about to finally get Naked
In
Man
the new
lore?
year, more mysterious
origins of
changes
madness.
began to
Speaking of
appear
which.
throughout Tyria. Soon after, within False River Valley of Lornar's Pass in the Shiver Peaks, appeared an enormous, ominous, floating, constructed metal platform. It was spotted hanging ominously in the sky.
He exists,
It
he's
deployed
real.
an equally horrific, twisted marionette, vaguely resembling the Watch Knights of Kryta, but clearly
That's playable right now. You don't say. No metal
manufactured by
boobs
Scarlet,
anymore?
The marionette sought to bring destruction to the Shiver Peaks.
Oh, then
The
I
Dermot
don't care.
surmised that it was a weapon of sorts and were tasked with shutting it down. Joining the
I've
fight
suddenly
against the
lost
machine
interest.
Was the commander, Marjorie, Casimir, Rox, and Bram all together, who all had history and ambition to bring down Scarlet and her schemes.
Holy
Amongst the
crap, that
crowds,
thing's
too,
enormous!
was a young Asuran prodigy named Taimi, no more than a minuscule Asura child, a small girl.
Taimi,
with a
I've heard
golem
about this
named
person.
Scruffy. Timey's parents were long since dead, and she'd been studying beneath Zodja at Ratasum until the machinations of Scarlet had encouraged her to leave the Asuran city. Interestingly, Timey showed extreme admiration for Scarlet and for her work, explaining that being a homicidal maniac does not make you any less of a genius. Destroying the marionette was no easy task, but it could be done.
Well, what's holding
And
up the
after its
strings of the
defeat,
marionette?
Rox
The
theorized
chains,
that
I mean.
Scarlet didn't actually care whether it
That's the
won or
Vista
lost
I did.
against them. Maybe she saw this as something of a stress test. When the group expressed their concern over the mysterious probes that had
She's
appeared too,
Zodja's student, Timey?
newly becoming acquainted with the group, reassured them that unlike the marionette, the probes did not seem to be manufactured for deadly reasons. Scarlet, at one point on her several years on Tyria, had perhaps unsurprisingly gone to study with the Asura at Ratasum. Specifically, though,
Bro, she
amongst
is.
the College
This is
of
crazy.
Synergetics,
I mean, she's
she
insane,
seemed to have
but
fallen
she's
into
smart
the
enough to like
unexpected.
play
With an
4D
Asura
chess with
named
everybody.
Omad, the two of them had built a machine to observe and tamper with the eternal alchemy itself. Scarlet was the one to use the machine first, but when she did, it seemed to have broken her mind, and she was never the same again.
What?
Littered throughout the hidden base beneath the priory were hints to that tortured past and her mysterious new purpose. The most notable item found was a journal written by the Sylvari herself.
You can go to
It
the base.
documented
Okay.
Scarlet's activities as she was continuously tormented by an entity in her nightmares. By the concluding pages of the journal, Scarlet had been consumed by the entity entirely, it seemed, and was no longer scared of it, but rather working with it. Elsewhere,
So she's got a
Rox had
crazy
met with
voice in her
Ripmont
head.
Brimstone about her admission into the Tribune's famous
Hot.
Stone Warband. Her prior attempts had not been well received, including even doing battle with a newly powered Tequatl the Sunless at Sparkfly Fen.
Tequatl Rising?
Rock expressed that Rox definitely would get in if she did just one thing: kill Scarlet Briar. Later, Logan met with Marjorie. Marjorie had asked the captain if he knew anyone by the name of E, which Logan didn't, and the figure remained
Yeah.
a mystery. But more of Casimir's past
Mr.
was
E.
revealed. Not a noble or lady at all. She instead was a former noble of Divinity's Reach, her family having gone into bankruptcy when her brother gambled all their money away. Her father, taking the blame for his son,
Man,
took
these
the
people in their
fall
gamba.
and went to debtor's prison, ending up dying there, with Casimir and her unseen brother having little left to their name.
Wow. Okay. Escape from Lion's
Scarlet was
Arch.
indeed planning an assault on the city, and she came in force. The molten burrowed up through the ground, and the toxic arrived by the sea. As the invasion
This was all like
progressed,
an in-game
a
event.
grand flying
You guys
platform,
actually got to like fight for
enormous,
Lion's Arch.
rivaling the size of the Glory of Tyria or the Zephyr
Oh,
Sanctum, entered
okay.
Sanctum Harbor from the skies.
Man,
Scarlet called the immense
what?
construct the Breachmaker.
What?
And before long, as it hovered above
What?
the city, it deployed an immense drill that burrowed into the ground where the green probe was lying. As the invasion continued, the factions began to
I
unleash
missed
a
out.
miasma into the air that slowly engulfed the region. Some citizens were able to flee the city, including Evan Nashblade. The merchant of the Black Lion
Jeez,
Trading
they did
Company
more damage
attempted
than,
to
you know,
flee the
what
city,
Zaitan
herding
could
his
pull.
valuable merchant Doliax
At least
with
for
him.
Lion's
The main
Arch.
gates of the city were destroyed in the beginning assault, save for one. The gate was reconfigured, and Nashblade went through it, somehow able to close it behind him, effectively trapping the citizens
How?
behind within the city to protect himself.
How you
Captain
transport the giant
Magnus,
drill?
the bloody-handed, spearheaded the Lion Guard defense at Fort Mariner. During a skirmish with the Molten Alliance, Magnus was injured, losing an eye. The attack was repelled as Captain Ellen Keel
Your
was
girl-
able to
your
get to the
girlfriend did
city
this?
with her
I
own
can fix her.
flying Aetherblade airship. The miasma soon reached critical levels and forced even the Lion Guard to escape under Keel's order.
Magitech?
Magnus, determined to hold the fort, which had never been
If this
lost
was Final
in all his
Fantasy, maybe.
lifetime, denied her orders. But Keel stood up to her now equal and forced Magnus on her airship, along with Canuck, still a prisoner forced to watch on, and a
Magnus is the... what is Magnus? Is he like the de facto leader of Lion's Arch, or is he like how is his standing? Where does he sit on the hierarchy? There's Magitech in Guild Wars 2 as well. Oh, okay. Leader of the Lion Guard. I thought that was Keel. I thought yeah, Keel was the leader. FF14 story is kindergarten. Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. I mean, you can make that argument for a Realm Reborn story, but Heaven's Word, Shadowbringers, excellent stories.
Few others. The surviving Lion Guard and others fled far from the city. They concluded that the gas was able to kill one.
I completely.
Thanks for bring back memories of how I enjoyed my first run through the game.
Yeah, that is a loophole. I completely forgot that I had that alert. I have not seen that alert in 2 years, I think. It was Sapar. Yo, I appreciate that so much. Thank you for the 25. Thank you. Yeah, I'm enjoying the story so far. I love it. Especially the background, you know, the lore, the characters.
Shortly after Marjorie quit the Ministry Guard, she had joined the Dermond Priory, knowing she could tap into a good source of information to be a detective with them. She expressed the Order of Whispers were a little too secretive for her taste.
Order of Whispers, best gang.
Could do now
best order.
Sit and wait.
That's just what makes us cool.
Miasma dissipated, and Scarlet continued to drill from the Breachmaker.
Battle for Lion's Arch.
Passed by, the miasma was pushed out into the Sea of Sorrows by wind. The Lion Guard were able to regroup with the three orders and chose to storm Lion's Arch and establish rally points to take the fight back to Scarlet. The collective force was able to re-establish a foothold in the battered remains of their city. They were able to take the Traders Forum and waited there until reinforcements arrived.
Bro, this is still all part of episode 4 and 5, by the way?
Volunteered to enter, as well as
because there seems to be a lot more content for 4 and 5 than there was for 1 through 3.
Getting into the Breachmaker was difficult. The Allies were tasked with reconfiguring Scarlet's teleporter machines used by the Assault Knights. With this successful, they were able to teleport directly onto the ship and met Scarlet head-on. First, the Sylvari hid behind a powerful hologram of herself. As the battle raged, the hologram began taxing on the energy of Scarlet and the Breachmaker, forcing her to dissipate it and luring her into a fight for herself. A strong combatant, she was still no match for the forces of Lion's Arch and assorted companions. Wounded and deranged, she screamed as she escaped into the Breachmaker's lower levels, determined to not let the drill fail. In the ensuing moments,
I'm looking forward to doing that.
Was injured and chose to
doing
retreat
episode
through
4
the
and 5.
portal, allowing the others to take the fight forward. Helatron followed the captain.
I hope they don't cut out a lot. It's a lot of content.
It was Rox, Bram, Casimir, Marjorie, and the commander that ended in the lower depths of the Breachmaker, only to find the crazed
You go inside the
Sylvari
drill?
on the ground attempting to hold her own. Bram told Rox to finish the job. With her scoring the killing blow, she could finally get into the stone warband. As they approached the Sylvari, Scarlet called out, asking if any had wondered why she orchestrated so much chaos and destruction the past year. Bram denied her chance to elaborate, but Scarlet responded that soon Tyria would bow before a new master. Soon, Marjorie was upon her, dagger drawn, and in that moment, Scarlet triggered one last explosion that threw all of them back. It was devastating. Bram, flung back, had broken his leg. Rox was distant enough to survive without injury, but rather than going for Scarlet, she chose to stay with her injured friend instead. Marjorie, too, close to the explosion and taking the brunt of the blast, was badly wounded. She was unmoving and unresponsive to Casimir, who went to tend to her lover. The Mesmer believed Marjorie to be dead. Enraged, Casimir turned her wrath to Scarlet, demonstrating the true depths of her mesmeric capabilities. With illusions, Casimir was able to distract Scarlet long enough for the commander to get close and deliver one fatal, killing blow to their hated enemy. In Scarlet's dying breath, the Sylvari exclaimed that they were all fools in thinking they were saved. As the rumbling of the Breachmaker continued with its drill, it at last hit its mark. Over Scarlet's decaying body, the whole machine turned blue. The drill struck the ley lines deep beneath the city, and an intense magical light exploded around them. But the energy did not linger at Lion's Arch. Scarlet had redirected the ley line elsewhere. It rocketed off, far from the city, out west toward the Thormanova reactor and beyond, into the distant Maguma jungle beyond the Brisbane wildlands. The light continued downwards, deep below the earth once again, before finally striking and feeding something new. Something waiting to accept it, sleeping deep beneath the earth. And now it rumbled and moved as a pair of enormous teeth began to open. Another Elder Dragon had awakened.
What?
The Breachmaker had reached critical mass. It soon spiraled out of control, with the drilling completed, and exploded.
She was
Fragments
working
of
for
the
an
airship
Elder
passing
Dragon!
through the ruined city of Lion's Arch, changing the very landscape and destroying what few buildings had survived the initial assault. Lion's Arch was devastated. It would never be the same again, and take years for the people to rebuild into something new. Pick apart the city
rebuilt into
for anything they could find.
SeaWorld.
Among the looters and gawkers were the Pact. The Pact had been entirely absent from this saga, but here,
True,
at
yeah.
last,
What
they
the hell
made
were
an
they
official
doing?
appearance through the Sylvari member Lorantha of the Wild. Lorantha explained that the reason the Pact did not officially help with Lion's Arch is because that is not the mission of the Pact. They have been tasked with the slaying of
guess
Elder
what?
Dragons,
Turns out,
and there
you
was
know,
much to
it
do
was-
to rebuild strength
should
after
have
the massive
intervened.
assault on Zaitan. Defending a city from attack fell outside of their charter. However, when a dragon's cry was heard from the Maguma jungle, rippling throughout the realm,
That's when they got their
sprang into action.
got off their
The
asses.
Pact now believed that Scarlet's drilling had roused a dragon. Lorantha explained that if they had known that Scarlet's plan all along was to awaken an Elder Dragon, they could have justified getting involved in the affairs of the independent city, but unfortunately they did not. From now though, Traherne and the Pact would take a more active role. Meanwhile, within the Dead End Bar, in the eastern commons of Divinity's Reach, the Commander, Casimir, Marjorie, Rox and Bram had a celebration of their victory over Scarlet Briar. Bram
Was it a
limping
victory,
from
though?
his broken leg throughout the celebration. Later on, Timey entered the bar to join the group.
She's too
They
young for
surmised
alcohol.
that the ley
What?
lines were an ocean of magic, and Scarlet had thrown a giant rock in the ocean, sending ripples out towards this dragon. After a while, Seraph Belinda Delacroix entered the bar looking for her little sister, Marjorie. They shared a brief moment where Belinda revealed she would soon be on an expedition at the Brisbane wildlands towards where the dragon's cry was heard. Rox had her own reasons for being at the bar. She was hiding from Ritlock. She was afraid to report to the Tribune since technically she had failed to kill Scarlet. She had been ignoring his summons and instead had chosen to focus on this unlikely new group of friends.
Damn.
So there they sat, enjoying each other's company.
Someone asked
in
how
this
old, you know,
fragile
Rox
time,
was. She's
wondering
at
about
the very least
distant,
probably
desolate
20 or
lands to the
21, right?
west,
If she
and
can
the
drink
new
at the bar.
dragon's roar.
There you go. All right. I guess that's the end of the video. And then season 2 starts. So season 2 is about like charting an expedition into the Maguma jungle or whatever and finding the new Elder Dragon. Okay. Scarlet's Place? Yeah, we can go to Scarlet's Place. Is that over at the Derman Priory? Scarlet's Base? We also need to see the castle in the sky. That's definitely on the list. Okay.
I could outrun a
And
centaur.
it's around here, behind the invisible wall, or the illusion thing. Oh. Open. Scarlet's secret lair. Oh. What the? Oh, there's a trap inside! Kind of smart. Here's all her experiments and everything. What the hell? What? she's got it made. She's got a full screen TV. She can watch cable. Damn. There you go. That's her plan. And here's all the targets she wants to hit. She's got a bunch of chests over here. None of which I can open. No longer obtainable? Really? Aw, lame. Look at the proposed alliance chart. The red lines between the races, centaurs she tried. Those are the failed ones. She only made molten and toxic. She ruled them out because it didn't work out. Okay. Okay. To the floating castle? I think I've already taken a look at this place. I've taken a look at everything that there is to offer. Alright, yeah, sure. To Dark Wound Waypoint. Did I miss out on the beach episode? Someone mentioned that there was supposed to be a beach episode with Casimir. That's where you get the mini South Sun Casimir thing. Or that's what it's referencing anyway. Look up. Alright, let me get a good vantage point.
I could outrun a
Oh,
centaur.
what the hell? There it is!
Dude, that's insane! South Sun was not part of the re-release. That's South Sun. Yeah, Laputa. I guess they pronounced it Raputa in the Japanese version, but yeah. This is as close as you can get to it. So you can't actually go to it. Interesting. I wonder if we'll go to it one day. Okay. That floating castle is like the Mage City in WoW. Like Dalaran. Are there people there? Do people live in this place like Dalaran? Has been a mystery since Guild Wars 1. In Guild Wars 1 you couldn't go either. What? So no one knows what's there, what's inside there, it's just there. Do they even reference it at all? Do we know what it's called? Do people know? Do the NPCs? Does the story acknowledge it? Okay, diverse ledges waypoint for the Living World Season 1 recap in-game. Yeah, okay. You mean the... Oh, wait, what? Zephyr Sanctum model view? What the hell is this? Oh, is this a floating city? There we go. We got a little model of the Zephyr place. Oh, that's really neat.
Scarlet Briar. Where should I begin? No one at first knew why she began her reign of terror. Some say she peered into the very fabric of the universe and went insane. Her attacks began in the northeast and spread like fire. She formed uneasy alliances and controlled her minions through deception and brutality. She leveraged their technology to scan for currents of magical energy called ley lines. Each attack had a purpose, allowing her to collect data from across Tyria that would later be
assassinating
used to assault Lion's Arch.
I'm gonna miss the Boobabot. I've never experienced the Boobabot, but I'll still miss it.
When all hope seemed lost, the heroes of Tyria rose to the task, along with new allies. Bram Arison of Kragstead.
He doesn't have nipples!
Rox Whetstone, Gladium. Casimir Mead, Mesmer. Marjorie Delacroix, Investigator. And Timey.
Hey, look at her!
Led by the Pact Commander.
She's like a little
They
baby.
dismantled Scarlet's operations. But while they reclaimed the city at the Battle of Lion's Arch, they would later discover that she had completed her mission, even in death.
Oh, damn.
Scarlet's machine struck the ley line deep beneath Sanctum Harbor, directing its magic far into the Maguma jungle.
This scene looks so cool, dude.
Changing the course of history.
Oh, there you go. That was it. And a gift from... This is gonna blow me up. It's gonna blow me up! Fool me once, shame on them. Fool me twice, shame on me. But you know what? In this case, shame on chat.
What a time to be alive. Help! So much history in the making.
Thank you, you guys. And that's how we got it before the return. Okay, I'm gonna go take a rest, you guys. You should do that as well. Take care, stay safe, be kind to each other, and I'll let you know when I next go live. Most likely on Sunday, same time as usual. Thursdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific. Later.